Good day, everyone. This is my 3 pages, and the question is, to what extent can society be studied in the same way as nature? The naturalist tradition claims that the sciences are unified in their concordance with positivist principles. The naturalist tradition of positivism emphasizes observation, measurement, while the anti-naturalists argue that the social sciences deal with meaningful objects, therefore they are contradicted. Bhaskar claims that a naturalistic approach to the human sciences is possible, although it will be different in methodology than the natural sciences. And he also developed critical realism in the middle ground between the naturalist and the anti-naturalist. Therefore, the disciplines are different but related fields. Bhaskar stated that social sciences cannot do this with the same degree of control but have other methods to conduct experiments and extremely true and scientifically. He argues that social scientists should study explanatory mechanism instead of predictive correlations. Therefore, theories are not derived from faith but rather from the explanation they provide of social phenomena and the rational critique of rival social theories. He recognized that social sciences can be scientific and objective, meaning to say he acknowledges the complexity and uniqueness of human behavior and social structures. Therefore, he embracing a critical realistic perspective that acknowledges both objective and social structures. Let's move on to Mr. Angelo Paalam. He cited the book. He mentioned Aristotle and other classical philosophers, sets the stage for the book's historical grounding and what is the foundation of virtue ethics, the connection between human nature, social responsibility, and true freedom. But this statement is insufficient because not providing a concrete example would strengthen this point. Mr. Angelo highlights a key strength of this argument, which is the critique of individualism. The explanation of how a limited understanding of freedom arises from an individualistic worldview is clear. This paper effectively connects virtue to this broader understanding of freedom. However, the mention of virtue as means is missing, which is a significant aspect of Aristotelian ethics. Also, Mr. Angelo addresses the engagement with metaphysics, the point about modern virtue ethics lacking a solid foundation due to its avoidance of questions about human nature and purpose. However, the praising foundation and understandable perspective could be improved for clarity and conciseness. Lastly, this paper provides a balanced assessment by acknowledging the book's limitations. Overall, it's helpful for us, especially since we benefit most from the book, as all are helpful. Critical realism and explanatory mechanism. This kind of method might be insufficient for the readers with Bhaskar's work. Archer 2016, critical realism involves a deep structures that produce those events. Imagine a car breaking down and the engine won't start, strained noises. So the critical realism there is to push us to look deeper what is cause of breaking down. The critical approach is essential to verifying the deep causal mechanism. Porpora 2015, critical realism needs to be supplemented approach by the rule of meaning and interpretation in social action. Let's say, for example, social inequalities, so the critical approach relying to social structure, such as discrimination and so on. Bhaskar's ideas was concrete example because it relying the organizational structures. Sayre 2010, critical realism provide an example to a various social science area. Let's say, for example, we have a new educational policy, so the critical realism there is to delve in deeper of what would be the effect of the school or the student, meaning to say revealing the unintended consequences. That's all.